unhinged mess and a train wreck on fire and speeding down a mountain with no brakes and an avalanche closing in behind, it's a masterpiece. Hi, I'm Avaris Harkay. Want some hot takes on otome-style manga, manhwa that I've read lately? No? Cool. I've got 4 of them right now. Just take everything I say with an entire bag of salt, and remember, your mileage may vary. This is Rude Men All Want to Marry Me. I've read through chapter 95 as is available, and it's currently ongoing. I rated this maybe read more. It's a Chinese manhwa, which should tell you everything you need to know about the quality. It's unhinged, although it's got a neat if typical premise to start. Full disclosure, I didn't read this, I just saw villainess, isekai, and reverse harem, and thought, okay, well, chapter 1 to 3 usually give you all the info dump you need anyway, while letting you know what you're in for story-wise and presentation and art and all that, so I just started reading. Which is the best possible thing to do sometimes, because I see several things in this summary that are not part of the main story, as such, are not even remotely expanded on or utilized well. If I had read this ahead of time, I think I would have been severely disappointed. Getting into what this actually is, it's just a dumb isekai where female lead has this cat thing called System, so she's doing missions as the villainess character to extend the deadline until her demise. There's 4 male leads, the original female lead. None of them actually matter, so don't worry about character or anything. They mostly are just lists of traits that are only relevant when the author decides. The art is really flat, and as such has a lot of unintentionally hilarious and dumb panels as a result. There's some pacing issues, among other things, but as an unhinged mess and a train wreck on fire and speeding down a mountain with no brakes and an avalanche closing in behind, it's a masterpiece. As long as you accept the crazy nonsense and don't worry about the dropped plot points and non-existent character building and lack of world and logic and the occasional to very often, oh, guess we're doing this now, from that one kiss the villainess female lead had with the original female lead that was never addressed or came up ever again, to the villainous female lead randomly joining a jousting match, to, like, weird event sequences where she's got snakes in her hair, but no wait, that was a dream sequence or a flashback probably, because everything is fine now, just roll with it, don't sweat the details. If you're reading this, it's for the spectacle and the vague interest of what's our unhinged female lead and or the author gonna spring on us readers next. Oh, what's that? Her dad's a like or something in an underground upside-down castle, and he was cursed, and that's going to be the explanation for why her life and or failed multiple lives keep ending in death? I mean, that's for now, until the author does the next crazy thing, I'm sure. Because remember, the system giving her missions and the setting of the world is a mobile game and the various copyright infringement on the game company back in the, real life she kept talking about. Yeah, no, the author decided the system was just the villainous female lead's way to deal with her trauma. This creates a giant gaping hole about her knowledge of other world entertainment franchises. But let's not start questioning things now. Otherwise, we might have to wonder about that queen title, when she's basically a princess waiting to marry a prince. But she's also a foreign dignitary that the current king can treat like a maid and have the guards chase and arrest her whenever. But her queen mom came to visit, and none of this was ever a problem for anyone, and it never was addressed. So yeah, don't question it. Crazy mom running the foreign country into the ground. Don't worry about it. Female lead has it covered. How? With what money? Oh, don't worry about it. She's just magic like that. So if her dad's alike and the whole hero party is going to take him out for reasons, sure, don't worry about it. Just enjoy the light show. And that was the last development. Grab some popcorn if you want. This one is not meant to be taken even remotely seriously. Next. This is Demon Queen Just Wants to Make Peace. I read all 53 chapters, and it's a completed work. Imagine that! Maybe it was cancelled, I have no way of knowing, but it is finished. I rated it as, it was pretty okay. It's also a Chinese manhwa, but the art is actually very nice. It's got a pretty simple premise, basically the title. We have an isekai female lead who is now the Demon Queen, and even at the start there's hints of, oh no, something could happen. But nah, everything is fine always. She recruits the hero guy, turns out to be the male lead. with almost zero trouble at all. So she's going to have him escort her to the human kingdom's capital to talk with the human king and draw up a peace treaty. Because, of course, there's been an ongoing war with a lot of difficulties and death, but let's not worry about that complexity and just brush it under the rug, because this is mainly going to be a romance, right? Yeah, with just a sprinkle of plot elements to pretend it's not just cute things for cute romance sake. Uh-huh, okay, why not? So just saying treaty is enough, apparently. Years of war and resentment? Ha! No hard feelings, I guess. But aside from those vast oversimplifications and not really addressing reality, we get a cute little escort story. They get sidetracked helping a demon village and then stopping evil demons from attacking a human city. Wait, evil demons? Oh yeah, we've got this huge oversimplified thing going. Right, so the demons are actually totally at fault in the isekai land, but only because there's some faction of evil demons. They don't follow the female lead demon queen. No. They think they're following the real one. And, oh no, what's that? Plot? So yeah, the final resolution is that there's originally two demon sisters and the evil one's soul is in the good one's body. Oh no! The good one's soul went to Earth and was our female lead who got isekai'd, or rather, actually she just came home to her original body. Seriously, the weird soul switching and other stuff, demons in this setting do appear to be evil, and since the female lead is one of them, well, obviously it's another case of don't worry about it. Especially since it means the female lead is actually the demon girl that the male lead befriended when they were both children, so their love story is just a big, wholesome, cute thing in the making for ages. Just enjoy it! Don't sweat the details, it's fine! Anyway, after they got defeated by the male lead, and the female lead's good sister wrestled back control of her own body, yeah, after all that, the evil sister's like, I've realized my evil ways. Sniffle sniff. And her soul is going off to Earth now instead, I guess. While the good sister female lead is going to stick around in her original body and continue being with the male lead hero guy because they have feelings now and it's mutual. It's cutesy and dumb, but also short. At 53 chapters, it doesn't outstay its welcome, so that's pretty nice too. Next up. This is My Childhood Friend Became an Obsessive Husband. I read through chapter 47 as available and it's ongoing. I rated this as it's okay. Would read more. Premise is the female lead lives at a church and she's an innocent ingenue, and then she finds out about a corrupt priest who's going to sell her to a local Lord Duke guy who's rumored to be completely awful in several different ways from Sunday. So she's like, no, and begs her childhood friend, who is way too hot to not be the male lead, to marry her instead. Predictably, he is actually the local Lord Duke guy with the bad reputation, and everything just unfolds beautifully from there. Looking at the pros, there is that whole cute thing with the male and female lead knowing each other since they were kids. They've also got this adorable meet cute when they were young and how they've just stuck together constantly visiting and also helping each other out along the way in various instances. And he's just been yandere for her for a long time, so yeah, obviously he's actually the Duke that she was so scared of being sold to. But also, the bad guys are pretty easily dealt with between her magic powers and his. Right, the magic system. Don't know how it works or don't remember. That's how important it was to the romance story. Basically, she's got some kind of power that the head nun and her caretaker made her promise to hide and avoid using, and growing up at the church as an orphan, and all despite circumstances because it's a manhwa. Yeah, given her magic, she's likely part of some esoteric and powerful lineage. We can all guess that easily from the get-go. So when it's mentioned the different houses and noble lineages all have special magic and stuff, yeah, that's just par for the course. But it's all kind of dealt with in a nice, normal way that's in service to the story, so that's pretty neat. It's very cute so far. The cons are, it's a lot of nonsense and silly dumbness. For example, the goddess literally shows up as a character and runs around acting like a chaotic auntie who really likes the female lead and really dislikes the male lead, and it's kinda mid. Doesn't seem to serve much purpose, honestly. The male lead has this demon sidekick who has his face from when he was a kid, and the reasoning for it is fine. He just took the form of the summoner at the time when he was called, but this is still very much a choice of the author that they went ahead and explained later, so not sure why we needed a Shota in the story. It's not important, so it also ends up being kinda meh. And there has been zero real threats, basically ever, because our leads are all OP. Even the female lead who was worried about being sold off, yeah, she's actually OP. Good luck making her do anything the author doesn't want her to do. And obviously, the male lead is also OP, and he quickly deals with anything that she doesn't. Seriously, some minor threats that are noted are dealt with off screen like that. It's fine. Minor threats aren't that important, it's just potential conflict. Kind of important for a story sometimes. There's also some stupidity with the leads not sleeping together or having mutual fun times woohoo, and it's only contentious because this is despite being married. And both very obviously desire each other, so it's purely weird webtoon sensibilities going on here, and it's really distracting when it's constantly getting brought up. Just don't mention it. We can pretend they just didn't have time or it happened off screen, but no! Instead, the whole comics basically brings it to the forefront every opportunity as if to say, oh, we teased the spice, but it all ends up being so sterile it becomes ridiculous and dumb. Again, they don't have to do anything explicit or on camera, but it is okay for a married couple to have, implied that they were intimate at one point or another. The guys are still working up to that all-important kiss territory. What is this, the Hays Code? I mean, it's China, so actually maybe there's an equivalent. I don't know. The male lead also has some weird hang-ups like, she mustn't find out about the people I killed, because then she's definitely going to be scared of me. But, she legit committed murder with an ice block as a one-panel gag on the very day he brought her home. So clearly, allowances are made when it's self-defense against nameless mooks, so why is the male lead murdering a bunch of wannabes and his cruel ex-family from the original Evil Duke's family so different, exactly? Anyway, other than that, it's all really fun and the art is also nice. The most recent chapter I read is the couple heading out to the evil third house territory, and in the art, they have like elf ears, but it just kind of goes unremarked, so whatever, okay. But given the track record that the manga has so far of, oh no, something could actually happen, yeah, no, the leads will be just fine. If anything, the big evil guy schemes will probably be dealt with super fast and barely without any issue at all. Last one. This is Screw the Noble Life, I'm Going Home. I've read through chapter 24 is available, and it's an ongoing series. I rated this would read more. I found it very entertaining. Still some weird moments, and I've got a few pet peeves, but otherwise this was a solid read for me at the time. Quick premise is the female lead won the lottery, so that's money in the modern living world, and she is ecstatic. Not just about the money, though, but because it means she can finally escape her awful life as a wage slave with an awful family and a deadbeat dad, along with all the related debts and things. But then suddenly, she got isekai'd with her lottery ticket. And she's got this diary that she's convinced will let her go home if she builds up enough enormous strength to overcome the spell on it that prevents her from writing in it. Since the diary shows text for things that have happened and also what will happen, she thinks once she can write in it, she can make it so she'll go home with her lottery ticket, get the money, and finally live a good life. I mean, she could stay in isekai surrounded by people that adore her, but she doesn't trust any of that, and honestly, it's part of the fun that she's so skeptical of it all, so it's fun. Female lead isekai'd with imposter syndrome, and it's pretty great. There's a decent chunk of humor attached to this one. There's some misunderstanding with the other characters quite a bit too, because the magic book she needs to open apparently also looks like a dirty novel to other people's eyes. So then there's her stepbrothers. She's got 3 of them. One's like a knight, one is off fighting the war, and another one is a wizard, apparently. So she's been standing up for herself more since she's been bullying her whole life and has had it up to here, and she's not putting up with it when living as a different person. So it's all cute. But there's also some weird realism in the whole trying to balance the idea of playing nice for business's sake, but if they're publicly berating and verbally talking down on her, then is that business thing really beneficial or just being leechy and weird? No, it doesn't actually make sense how it's portrayed. I think it's a weird impetus to waffle both directions of try to play nice, but also don't take BS. And it's either the author or the female lead that hasn't figured out the right balance, and incidentally, neither have the brothers, so I don't know. Anyway, most recent chapter, there's another party, because there's been a couple parties in this, and that just means more noble bullies. Prior chapters indicate something going on with the wizard's stepbrother. My working theory at the moment is maybe he's an animated corpse? I don't know, it's not clear. I really want to know, though. And then the female lead had her memory of whatever was going on with him erased, so she can't question it or think about it. Plot thread, come back! And the stepbrother we haven't met yet, a swordsman and the general serving in the eternal and mysterious isekai generic The War, is coming back soon or something, so that's something to check back for. And recently, our female lead bought a slave, as they do in isekai. Goodness gracious. Supposedly on accident, but apparently he's a free servant now, and her dad banned all slaves in their territory, so at least, fun continuity thing there, I guess. But overall, there's a lot that's fun and cool and comedic in this one. I also think it's got the right balance of fluffy feel-good and plot pacing in this one, so yeah, would read more. The last development I read, the knight stepbrother had chucked a rock at an awful bully nobleman's face, so yeah, I want to know the fallout from that. I want to know what happens, I want to read more, I had fun reading this one. Why is it only 24 chapters? More, please. More! Wow, you made it to the end. Crazy, right? Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you read any of these or if there's a particular isekai type you prefer to read about. Hope to see you next time. Bye!